Good afternoon, everyone. Treasure Troller here. Just a second. There we go. For today's second vlog. Today's second vlog is about football. Michigan football, to be exact. Michigan has done something that, well, the only team in the Big Ten has done so far to date, and that is they've hired on a graduate assistant football coach by the name of Mylan Bolden Morris. That's right. Mylan is female. She's a former point guard for the Georgetown Hoyas. And she just recently was announced as a graduate assistant coach, quarterbacks coach for the University of Michigan. Now, there's a lot of people in the sports world that, have a different opinion as to why Mylan was hired. Kind of one of these, the new woke crowd. It's kind of a woke hire, and boy, a former point guard for an average women's college team. Boy, we just can't wait for the volume of wisdom that she'll bring to the quarterbacks at Michigan. My only I don't want to say concern, but possible reason for the hire, if there is a negative to the hire, which I don't think there is, and that's why this whole vlog after this little tiny blip here is going to be about why she can be successful. I might be one of the few out there that believe Mylan can be a successful coach. But the other thing is I have to wonder is a lot of these major college universities are being sponsored. A lot of their shoe contracts, a lot of their uniforms are being supplied by Nike. Now, I'm not sure if Michigan is sort of sponsored by Nike or Adidas, but they do have a large contract with them. The coaches got paid that way, and they may have dropped something into Jim Harbaugh's ear. But aside from the possible financial tie to this, I don't have a problem with them hiring Mylan as a coach. First of all, graduate assistants, as far as coaching goes, it's really not much of a coaching position. I really strongly believe that if you wanted to be a graduate assistant coach, especially football, where there is there's a lot of coaching positions on the football, offense, defense, you got linebackers, wide receivers, safeties, special teams. There's a myriad of graduate assistant jobs that would be available. I think anybody that really had a desire to be a football coach could get a graduate assistant job. Charlie Weis, to me, is the first one that comes to mind. Charlie Weis was a student at Notre Dame, got onto a football staff, and I think he was with the Patriots. He was under Belichick, but he never played football, not college. And first, I guess we should point out all these big-time coaches, very successful coaches. Can you tell me about their stellar college football career or their professional career? I mean, tell me the Saturday feats of Nick Saban on the gridiron, or Bill Belichick, or Andy Reid. Tell me about him. You just can't. Harbaugh might be the only one that can really talk about not only playing, started quarterback at Michigan, went on to the NFL for the Bears and the Colts, who had you have Tony Dungy, who had a pretty successful NFL career, had a successful NFL coaching career, and now is kind of going by the wayside. I think he's at Arizona State now. But none of these coaches had great football careers, and I think that's pretty normal. It's very difficult for very good players to be very good coaches, because they just do something that they have the ability to do things that the normal athletes just can't do, which makes them very difficult. It makes it frustrating for them to coach. But anyways, back to Milan. It's a graduate assistant. You're going to spend most of your time watching tape. I don't think the coaching quarterbacks is probably the best move for her initially. She's going to have to take a year or two just to understand and learn the position, let alone coach it. So it's not really going to be for at least 3 to 4 years before she gets a shot at type of coaching. But I don't really think that her lack of football background has much to do with it. I don't think Bill Belichick's Division III, I don't know what he was, Division III offensive guard had a lot to do with it. I think when you understand the program, you understand the position, and you understand the nuances. I think it's more about the nuances of the position that make the big difference, and that's where she's going to have she may get a better clue into that, just the subtle nuances that have to be done to be successful. I think the downside to her is going to be time. I'm not sure that she's going to get the time that she's going to need. I mean, financially, graduate assistant jobs don't pay anything. You might get your tuition, so she might get her graduate degree there at Michigan or something, but they don't pay a lot of money. And I would think she would have to spend at least 3 years in a graduate assistant before they'd even be comfortable moving her up. And who knows if that's going to be available. So that means she's going to have to get attached to somebody on the staff that's wants to make a name for themselves at Michigan and then move on, and she's going to have to go that route, which is pretty typical. But there's nothing to me mentally or physically or experience-wise that's going to prevent Milan from being a good coach. So, like I said, if you don't believe me, just look back at the great college careers and pro football playing careers of, Don Shula, John Gruden, John Madden. There isn't any of these coaches, with the exception of maybe Mike Ditka of the Bears, who was a Hall of Fame tight end. Other than that, they're just a lot of kind of no-name guys that have come up through the coaching ranks and become very successful coaches. So I think Milan has that honor. So don't count her out. I just think the financial end of things may hurt her in the long run, because it's probably going to be quite some time before Milan sees a decent paycheck. So with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha, good day, and go blue.